Okay, we're back. We're looking at the D cage. Now I want you guys to see where these chord shapes come from. Okay, the easiest way to learn the chord shapes is over here in the C box. The C box, this is where your fretnut is. E string becomes, low E becomes the third of C. Okay? So simply we have a C-shaped C, a D minor shaped D minor, an E minor shaped E minor, and E-shaped F. Remember, the fourth of C is E shape. The fifth of the C shape is the G-shaped G, and the A minor shaped A minor, 3/6 root, second inversion. First root would be 6 root 3 right there. That's root A minor or root 6th minor, and whatever key you're in, whatever root that is. And then we have the half diminished, okay, whatever that shape is at that point. With the C shape, if we're talking about C minor shape, so first of all, we're going to drop it down from here. Instead of going 5 root 3, which is second inversion root, okay, instead of going 5 root 3, 5 root 3, so we've got D and C here, both in the same cage. We've got a C shape and a D shape up here. We know that D shape hiding up there. We're going to drop it down 1 and do a C minor shape. It would be C, 7, 2. Now the 4 is hiding over here way off the screen, so we don't get that C minor shape. So this old description isn't really that accurate. What do we do at that point? Advance another cage position. So C goes to A. Now we're looking at the A-shaped root, 5 root 3. We're going to drop that down to 4, 7, 2. But notice that's still not going to fit in the original C cage. So half diminished is difficult for the smaller cages. Okay, how to describe them. And usually what people end up doing is just picking some chords. Half diminished is 7, 2, 4. And you can play the 6th too for a half diminished 7th, you know, for a nice sound like that. Because guess what? On the A shape, in the regular cage tripentatonic old cages, I call them the short cages, there's no 2, 7, or 4. So you would want to play that 7th there. So usually people end up just picking a chord here, you know, or do a little arpeggio, 4, 7, 2, 4, like that, maybe a 6, 7, 2, 4, that kind of thing. But in the large cages, the bigger cages, we have the ability to play these chords, these half diminished chords. So let's go back to our D cage here and look what's going on. So what I've done is we have a D-shaped root here. Okay, now if we take that and we're going to play a minor shape, C7, 4, that's a B minor. Drop that F sharp to an F in key of C, and you have a D minor shaped there, but you also have a C shape here. So we can go out of the box here at 5 root 3. We can just do this C minor shape thing, but it really isn't a C minor shape. Okay, what we've got there is, okay, so again we've got our B minor. Okay, the 5th B minor is the F sharp 7. So we've got F sharp B, then we've got our D. Okay, it's a B minor shape, but we drop the 4. So we drop all the way down to this 4, but guess what? We've got that in this cage, in this modal cage. We've got it. All right, we've got 4, 7, 2, 4, 7, 2. So in actuality, we have a C and a D half diminished there. We got both positions right there. Well, I started out wanting to tell you that, and that's not really a bad mistake. I mean, I'll probably add that in after, but what I wanted to tell you is if the shape doesn't fit, you go to the next shape up and then drop it from there back in. That's why we ended up with root over here with two of the same shapes, because in the E box we have E cross A cross C. We can't get the C. If we start with C and we're playing a C-shaped fifth, so it's 2, 5, 7, well, nothing, no string, no play. So we got to go from up one from the C, and the word caged is A. So there's our 2, 5, 7 A-shaped chord. So we just take it up a whole step there in that modal box with the cutout. Let's do a tough one, but this time we're going to keep everything here. So we're going to look at the Lydian box. Okay, so there's the Lydian box, 4, 5, 6. The Lydian scale starts in key of C is F, G, A. Okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2. It sounds kind of, you know, kind of sharp or something. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root. Okay, but instead of 6, 7 root, we're going to go 6, 7, and then just start root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that would be with the cutout in the Lydian box. 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, what do we have here? Okay, in Lydian we have 1 major, we have a local fourth of a half diminished, and we have the 1 major, which is actually the parent key's root. In the Lydian box, in the key of C, the Lydian box is F and the parent key is C. Alright, so what are we doing here? We have an E-shaped in the Lydian box here. So what I can do is put Mystic Capo on there, although it's harder for me to play it a little bit sometimes because I can't see exactly these notes. We have an E-shaped 4, and then we have an A-shaped, an A minor shaped 7th. Now let's find that. Here's our E-shaped 4, root 4, 6. Okay, then we're going to go to an A minor shaped 7th. Here's 3, 6 root. Okay, but are we going to play 3 or are we going to play 2 or are we going to play 4? What are we going to do there? Okay, there it is. Now this is a perfect example of advanced shape fitting. We have to know that an A minor shaped 7th comes from root 3, 5. Remember, because we're going to drop the root down to the 7th here. In this case, we're definitely going to the left here. So it would be 7, 2, 4 right there. Here's our root 3, 5. And then there's 7, 2, 4. Not that big a chord because of the tuning difference there. So that's that chord, and then you play a 7th on top or something. That would be the 6th. That would be a nice half diminished. So that's the relative fourth of the Lydian. Okay, the relative fourth of the Lydian. And then the 5th of the Lydian is 1. That's our root 3, 5, so it's listed in the A box as an A shape. This is the little thing that I had originally done, and now I use this to check this one, which is 1, 4, 5, relative minor of 1, relative minor of 4, and relative minor of 5. I use it to check it. So here's 1, and in the A box we have an A-shaped 1. That checks. Okay, the A diminished 7th, there it is, AA, that checks. But the shape fitting here, the shape fitting is localized. It's in